who are aged 55 or older and have served at least 15 years. They deserve an automatic parole hearing. And another statistic, 19. Why 19? Because we have 19 days left in this session. So we have to get these bills passed before June 2nd. Am I right about that? Yes! So we are going to bring together the justice of victims and the justice that's necessary so our incarcerated family members can be released and returned to their families and communities, and we will get that done in the next 19 days. Thank you very much.
So in order to get this done by June 2nd, we're going to need all hands on deck. Repeat that after me. All hands on deck. So with the hands, we're going to have State Senator Myrie to come, because we do need our assembly people and our elected officials to be a part of these hands. Is State Senator Myrie here?
Not yet.
All right, he's not here yet. We're going to call, so, we need the young and the old. We need the young and the old. We need the young and the old. Louis, I'm calling Louis Hernandez.
All right, everybody. It's so great to see you all, and I think this is what we need to see every time. The pandemic held us back, but we're here, and I'm sure that the legislators feel the energy. So if everybody could say, what do we want? Justice? Yes. What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Parole justice! Parole justice! What do we want? Parole justice! What do we want? Parole justice! What do we want? Victims' compensation! What do we want? Victims' compensation! That's right. My name is Luis Hernandez, and I'm the Executive Director at Youth Over Guns and the National Director of Youth Campaigns at the Gathering for Justice. And I'm here not just because of this being an important issue to our organizations, but because this is a life or death situation for so many. As young people, it was stated just 2 days ago that gun violence is now the leading cause of death in America. That's a reality that young people have to face every day, particularly here in the state of New York. What we know is that young people are gunned down every day in our streets. They're found to both be the perpetrators, but also the victims of gun violence. So often, young people like myself, my siblings, and so many young people that are with me here today are caught in what we know is a cycle of violence. Young people being trapped in a system, have no resources, have no sense of safety, and the only thing they can find safety in is picking up a firearm. And if they don't, they end up on evening news, shot and killed on the streets of New York. That's a reality that young people are facing, with no opportunities, with no resources, leaving their mothers, siblings, and families to fend for themselves, start GoFundMes, start Cash App change, trying to collect donations to pay for funerals, to keep the lights on in their house, to keep dinner on the table. We say no more. No more! We say no more. No more! We need services. We need victims' compensation for young people. We need to expand the resources. We need to remove the burdens. No more mandatory reporting to police who don't protect us. No more relying on the very systems that fail us. We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. That's right. We're here today and we're going to continue to champion calling for both parole justice bills and the Victims' Compensation Act to pass this session.
So now, from my city, what I represent, BK, we gonna call on Assemblywoman Davalon.
Understand what our house Right? Yeah.
We treat our elders poorly, and not just our elders.
Oh, come on.
Our black and brown elders.
Preach.
Why do we do that? Because we have always known that the prison pipeline is modern slavery. Somebody needs a job. But you can't get that job from us. We will not allow you to do that. $550 million a year we spend on elders in prison. If you get an opportunity to go in front of a parole board, one, it helps us understand what is that parolee doing during that course of the time. So it's not a waste of time. It is not. It is fair and it is just.
That's right.
Do it.
$550 million we could use for mental health services. We could use for housing. We could use on youth centers and these brave souls that come here to tell their stories.
Come on.
I feel you. I know you. Okay? I know you.
Real talk.
I know you, Sienna. Why? Because we all come from backgrounds that have taught us those lessons.
Come on.
That's why I feel so grateful, and I thank God every day that I am here. Because I may not speak a lot, but when I do,
Come on.
we're going to talk about it, and we're going to be about it. We're not here to waste any time.
Real talk.
And I am proud of you. Where's the Hispanic lady that stood up and talked about it? I know you too. I know you too. Because this is exactly what our lives look at.
Yes.
Like in our own homes. Right. And while I'm standing here and still elected, we're going to pass this.
Come on.
We're going to pass the parole justice bill. We're going to pass the elder law. So, let's continue. We have 19 days to go. And what do we want? Parole justice! What do we want? What do we want? Parole justice! What do we want? So let's get it.
And next we're going to call on Michelle Allen from Moms Demand Action. Let's give it up for Michelle!
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Michelle Nicola Allen, a mother of Nicholas Amari Isaac, affectionately known as Nico. He was a member of SOS, Save Our Streets, and I am a member of Moms Demand Action and Mothers of Safe Cities and a Brooklyn Child Foundation. I'm here today as a volunteer with Fair Access to Victim Compensation campaign to advocate the bill, to speak on behalf of many mothers and survivors of losing a child to gun violence. Before speaking on the bill, I'd like to express my gratitude to Senator Delmar Murray for championing this bill. Yeah. In addition, I would like to thank our 14 Senate co-sponsors and our 28 Assembly co-sponsors who believe in the importance of this legislation. Yeah. I have two great pains in my life. The first was bringing my beautiful baby boy into this world. The labor pains were unbearable. But the joy afterwards makes somehow all the pain you just went through disappear. A memory that you barely remember. The second is losing this beautiful young man to gun violence. The pain remains unbearable and never seems to go away. On July 18, 2020, at approximately 2 p.m. on a Saturday, my son was outside of a bike store working on repairs to his bike. He got in an argument with a man, and that man returned 2 hours later to kill my son. My son tried to run to the bike store for cover, but unfortunately he was shot in the leg and was unable to close the door behind him. The perpetrator followed him into the store and shot my son multiple times close range. Every vital organ was hit, and after 5 hours of surgery, my son did not survive. I shared this tragedy with you today to help you understand the pain that's involved, the unbearable pain that never seems to go away. I'm here as a mother, a survivor, and I'm not here with the backing of any politician. My only political motivation here today is to have this bill passed, for survivors and victims to have one less worry, some time to heal without having all the bureaucracy of timelines and paperwork. The Fair Access to Victim Compensation campaign aims to the New York State compensation laws and policies more equitable by removing the barriers that survivors face to collecting these funds. Gun violence is an epidemic, and homicide is the leading cause of death of young brown black men in America. The leading cause of death. And it has been for quite some time. But yet only 4% of the victims of violence receive compensation.
That ain't right.
And brown and black people are the least likely to receive victim compensation. Passage of this bill should be a no-brainer for the state. At its core, fair access to victim compensation is a racial and a social equity bill. It is a real opportunity to say that New York State legislation truly supports and cares about its victims and survivors, to take on and away some of the burdens for so many New Yorkers who share my story, by removing the mandatory police reporting requirements and providing survivors of crime with alternative ways to show that the crime occurred. Giving us time to heal without these timelines and piles of paperwork. This barrier affects New York's most vulnerable and marginalized communities. I'm here in Albany today to speak on behalf of so many mothers and so many families that are still unable to share their stories and that were never able to receive any compensation to cover expenses for their loved ones or support to access the funds while they are still healing. The average cost for a burial in New York is $10,000. A cost that no family should have to endure after losing a child or a family member to gun violence. I'm here today as a mother, a survivor, and I'm here today to passionately plead with New York State to pass this bill. Thank you. I am so sorry to hear about your son, Michelle. Right now, say it with me. Our families are suffering and we can't wait. We need survivor justice in New York State. Our families are suffering and we can't wait. We need survivor justice in New York State.
Our families.
That's right. With that, I want to bring up Donna Hilton, the executive director of A Little Piece of Light.
Yeah, Donna.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, I'm not even going to go over everything that's been said, because one of the things I want to say is we're tired of coming up here saying the same thing each and every day. We come up here day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year.
Come on.
I don't know what it's going to take for you to understand that we're not stopping,
There you
that
go.
we're not going to give up, because we know lives are on the line. People in our community, people within prison, human beings that you continue to overlook, you continue to deny, and you continue to treat unjustly.
Tell him.
I'm standing here today as a woman that served 27 years in New York State's prison. I'm standing here as a woman who went to the parole board 4 times. 4 times in 2 years. Denied every time. Why? Because I wasn't looked at as a human being.
Come on.
I was denied. I was denied that one thing, my very humanity. That's why I fight.
Come on.
That's why we're fighting.
Yeah.
We are tired of coming here every single day to get you to hear us. We are here because there are thousands people in our prison system who you refuse to listen to. We have people that are serving